y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michali of Michali's Studio, and you are in the studio with me today, and we are going to swatch a whole bunch of new Copic markers that I got, and we're going to refill and swatch these 3 markers that throughout this series, as I was swatching my Copic swatch cards, discovered that these were all dry, so finally got the refills. So I'm going to give you a refresher on how to refill your Copic sketch marker, and we'll finally swatch these as part of the complete collection. So let's get started. If you are not familiar, I created a series. It's got 7 parts of me swatching all the Copic sketch markers that I own. I don't own all the Copic sketch markers, but I've been gradually adding to my collection as I create more paper dolls or illustrations or whatever project I'm working on. I get as needed, and that's what I have here. These 7 are for a sort of group of paper dolls that I'm currently working on. They're based off of runway looks from the different designers, and I needed specific colors that I didn't have. So I ordered these as well as refills for those ones that were a bust. And I can't wait to swatch these because I'm super excited to use them for my paper dolls. But of course, the swatching is so much fun. For those of you familiar with my Copic swatch card series, you'll remember that we swatched based on each color group. If you're not familiar with the series, I have a whole playlist, and you can kind of get to know the different Copic markers, how to use these Copic swatch cards, and my swatching method. I encourage you to check that out. For today, we're going to start with these 3 red violets. I'm excited. But first, let's get to that sheet. So just as a refresher, this is blue, violet, violet. Here we have all the reds that I currently own, adding to that gradually. And here we go is the red violet sheet, which, look at that. I can't wait. So let's get started with the first color I've added. So the first one that I've added to my collection is RV00, which is Water Lily. Just love that name. So as a refresher, if you're not familiar, or if you do remember, you know what to do, and you can swatch along with me. We're going to work on the chiseled edge to swatch our color, and we're going to do it in 3 layers, doing 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes. Gentle pressure. This is a really light color, this very delicate pink that can build up nicely. And I can't wait to show you what fashion look I'm using this for, what designer look, but you'll just have to hold tight and I will share that as soon as it's complete. The next color I purchased is RV02, which is Sugared Almond Pink. What a great name. And it is the one next over. So I'm looking for this particular paper doll, this particular look, to be able to create the shading. And so I wanted colors that are next to each other. So let's swatch. And again, gentle pressure. This is such a fun, bright, sort of bubbly gum pink. It's got a nice softness to it, as opposed to light pink that has a little bit more red. This is cooler, almost kind of like a highlighter pink. Got that neon. Super excited about this one. Last but not least, in the red violets that I purchased is RV32, which is Shadow Pink, and we're going to skip all the way down here to swatch this one. And again, so this one, as you can see, is a lot more muted. It's soft. The sun is kind of giving us a cool effect here, but you might not be able to see it as clearly. I love this kind of muted, almost like blush pink. This is going to be great for a lip color, in my opinion, too. So I'm super excited about Shadow Pink. It's been on my wish list for a really long time. And I keep my wish list on the Copic app. So what's great about this app, I've mentioned it many times before, but I encourage you to check it out if you're not familiar, or if you're looking for a way to keep track of your stock. That you've got the Copic Swatch cards, which is great because here you can see everything laid out. But then if you're looking to have a wish list of which ones you want, you can have that on the app. You can see swatches on there. You can list which ones you own, and it's not just the Copic Sketch Markers. It also has the multi-liners, and if you get from the other Copic lines, the Kaio. So check it out. It is a super handy dandy app, and I highly recommend it. All right, so that's what I've added to my red violets, and I can't wait to use those. Skipping ahead, I got 2 greens. So let's pull that sheet for us. Nothing in the oranges there, the yellows, and nothing in the yellow-green. We're jumping ahead to green, which also has the one that ran dry on me. So gotta refill that, and then we can swatch that again. But first, let's swatch the new ones because that's fun. So I purchased G000 Pale Green up here. It's very light, like crystal opal. And again, this is for, actually it's the same look. It's the same fashion look that I'm doing on a paper doll that will work with the pinks. So super excited about that one. It's a really fantastic look, and I can't wait to show you all. So let's swatch Pale Green. And again, light pressure. I love how it's got some sort of blue undertones to it. It's just really pretty, very delicate, sort of in the aqua family, and it's gonna work great for this look that I'm working on. Next up is G12 Sea Green, which already the name, you had me at sea green. I just love greens. So this one is also part of that same group. Gentle pressure. Oh, what a beautiful, delicate, soft green. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. I can already tell this is going to be one I'm going to go to a lot and use a lot for my paper dolls. We're going to skip over this guy. We're going to come back to it a little later in this video. But next I've got a couple of earth tones to swatch that I just purchased. Skipping over the blues, the blue greens. Here we go. So these are actually, if you're familiar with these Copic Sketch cards, and if you're not, I'll show you. Earth tones have 2 sheets, and the 2 that I got are actually on the second sheet. So let's swatch those. Honestly, I wish I had more to swatch, but like I always say, I get them gradually. Copic markers are, you know, well priced, but it's not something I'm getting all at once. So let's swatch the first earth tone that I purchased. So for this group, I purchased E50 with it, which is Eggshell. And I'm always looking to add to the earth tones because they work for skin tone, they work for hair, and in some cases they're good for creating certain fabrics or materials that you need to sort of get creative with it. And I'm attempting to, with these 2 and other ones that I have, to create a more realistic looking gold sequin. And I can't wait to see how that works out, and I hope it works out. All right, gentle pressure, chiseled edge. Ooh, that's a fun one. It's funny that it's called Eggshell, because I guess sort of in between a white and a brown egg, but it's very light, it's very soft. I am able to build it there to that darker tone, and I hope this is going to help with the lights and the darks for the gold piece in this look. I'll add, because while you can use gold metallic colors, if you're trying to create that dimension and the shades and the layers, you're better off creating it yourself with different types of markers that create that effect. so it doesn't look flat or heavy. Now that isn't to say I don't use gold metallic markers, because I do, and for like jewel details and stuff like that. But when it's a whole bunch of fabric and you actually look at the way the light hits on, say, a sequin, you have these, you can kind of break it down into the tones. So if that's something that might be helpful for you all as I figure it out with this particular look and you might want to see in a video, please feel free to let me know in the comments if that's helpful in any way. I'd love to share with you my process, so let me know. Let's jump ahead to the last one in this batch that I ordered. It's E81 Ivory. Okay, so ivory, kind of darker. It's almost like a beige to me, and it's very close to being like the sister to, it is the sister to E84, the khaki. So this is going to be for the darker tones. I hope this works. I'll tell you. I looked at the Copic app, I looked at the different colors, I looked at the piece I'm trying to recreate, and I'm really curious to see how this goes down. So this will be an interesting process because this is a little darker than I expected, but I do have the darker tones in this gold sequin piece, so we're going to make it work. Okay, so that's it for what we can swatch at the moment, and I wanted to do those first to share with you all. I love buying new Copics. Next, let's take a look and let's refill those 3 that were dry. And so it's a little refresher. If you are not sure how to fill Copic markers, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, a few things to keep in mind when you're refilling your Copic markers. It can get messy, so either you can wear gloves if you prefer, or use a makeup wipe to remove any ink that gets on your hands, and then soap and water. That's what works for me, and I share that, and I'll link those videos for you all to see. Either a pair of some kind of strong tweezer or a Kleenex to pull out the tips. I'm going to be pulling the chiseled edge tip when we refill it. When I come to refill any of these, if any of my tips are really dry, I will replace them since these have been dry for a while. Let's start off with YR01 Peach Puff. I'm going to remove the cap on the chiseled edge. Now, I prefer to just pull with a Kleenex, but you can do this with tweezers, whatever's easiest for you. Just get more of a grip with this. It's bone dry, so it's going to take a second. Gotta jiggle it a little. There we go. So it's dry, but it's not damaged, so I don't need to replace it. But it's going to take a while to refill. So here's my Copic refill. Handy dandy. I'm going to unscrew the cap. Now, because we have this nice tapered nozzle, it slides in really easily, and it's not as messy as the old ones used to be. Believe me, the old ones were a pain in the bum. And I'm just pumping it in, and you can see based on the level as it's going down. So I'm not going to bore you with the entire process, but you do this till it's full. Since this is, like I said, bone dry, completely empty, it's going to take quite a bit. After you've refilled for a while, if you want to check, depending on the level of how empty your marker was, we're going to then add this back in and swatch to see. As I'm refilling this and the sun is hitting the cartridge, it's making me kind of think like it looks like orange soda. Okay, I've been at this for a while. It's gone down quite a bit, so now let's check. Just rescrew that. Pop this guy back in. Place the cap. No, I can already tell it's still dry. It's going to need a lot more. So we go back. Remove it. And let's resume refilling. I kind of had a sense, I know from refilling my other ones, that was not going to cut it. Look at the size of the chamber. So here we go. But I did want to show you a good way to check and to know. And the tip, it's not even dripping yet, so we're not quite there yet. Well, we can just keep pumping. All right, so a bit of a mess because I kept checking the other tip and I think I need to replace it. So this is full now. Look at that beautiful color. But, and we'll deal with this loveliness later. When I come to check the brush tip, while it's dripping down, look at that. So what that's telling me is this guy is no good. It's not absorbing it. It needs to be replaced. So let's do that. I just want to take a moment to admire my handiwork. This looks like the orange soda exploded. Don't make this mistake. Okay, let's change the tip. And hopefully this won't be too messy because it is already full and really you want to do this on the emptier side. So pray for me. Let's first get this guy ready for us. Lovely soft new brush tip. This is the bit that's going to go inside. So that's ready to go. Let's get this out of the way and gently tug this out. Because he's so dry, it might take a second. Okay, there he goes. Oh, it's too bad because this part is okay, but this he got too dry. So with the other two, we're going to make sure everything is okay before we refill it. Slide it in. All right, and now to make sure it's nice in, I'm going to let that kind of drip down. It might take a moment. So we're going to come back and check on it. Oh, it's starting to. Do you see the ink? It's coming through. There it is. It's filling up. Oh, that's kind of pretty. It's like a sunset. Okay, there we go. All the way down. Beautiful. And there you have it. Ooh, ready to use. Perfect. Okay, so let's learn from our mistakes, or my mistakes. G28 is really dry on both ends. I've already checked him out, so I'm gonna already do a little bit of surgery and replace the tips. So I've got both the brush tip and the chiseled edge tip, and first thing is removing them, and since it is so dry, it's going to take a second. So this was so dry, this part came out and the rest of it stayed in. So let's hope we can actually, there we go. Wow, what is that? Let's put a new one, shall we? Press it in. Same thing with this one. I think it's going to take a second. Really twist it. See how it's just totally disintegrating. Don't do this to your markers. Learn from me. Coming in to share with you all the progress of this. For the sake of my dignity, I'm doing it off camera because it just doesn't want to come out. It is so dry. I'll be back. Okay, 3 hours later, I got it out. You know, at what point do you say, is it time for a new marker? But here we go. It's out. So we can refill it. So obviously I can't stress enough, don't do this to your markers. Don't let them get to this state. All right, G28, ocean green. Let's refill. I'm going to be a little more gentle this time because I definitely overfilled Peach Puff. And it is a bit of a mess at the moment. So we're going to check more often by looking at the brush tip. But similarly to what we were doing before, I've got the refill in and I'm pumping it. If you can hear that. And we're going to check here in a few minutes. Now, because this is such a dark color, it's harder to see how much the level is going down. So we're going to be extra careful. So I've been going for a bit, but as you can see, it's not dripping down yet. So we got to keep going. Okay, So I've peaked it, it's dripping down. I'm gonna pop this guy back in. Let it go down the other way. Okay, so that turned out to be another bit of a mess. Don't know if my heart can take one more, but let's go for it. This is what happens. I've been away from my studio for about 3 months, and it's like I've forgotten how to do basic tasks. So we're gonna try this again, and we're gonna be even more careful. Okay, last but not least in this fun experience of torture here is G21 Lime Green. I am going to put a fresh tip. The other one is feeling a little dry. The color is coming out on it, but let's not chance it. So that's ready to go. For the sake of my sanity, we're going to do something I don't typically do because I'd like to try to avoid the mess, but clearly that's not happening today. I'm going to leave that tip so the second it drips, I'm going to stop filling it, which I don't typically do. But I don't know what's going on today. Is it a retrograde? All right, so I've put the nozzle in. I'm gonna start filling it carefully, slowly, gently. Can we avoid a mess? You know, some days are just like that. You think you know what you're doing. You think it's going all right, and then it doesn't. And that's what today is doing, and I'm chalking it up to first day back in the studio after not being in the studio for a while, and these things happen. So hopefully it's entertaining for you all, and a good little laugh if your day needs it. I'll laugh about it later. As I'm filling, I just did a quick brush stroke there as I'm going through, so I think this is actually pretty full already, and we don't need to take any chances. All right, so another opportunity to show you how easy this part is. Something today. All right, let's tip it. Let's give it a second and make sure we are indeed full. While it was coming out of the other tip wasn't damaged like the other one, so the absorption, I think, was more possible. All right, this one's starting to come through. There it is. This doesn't feel overfilled. It's coming at a nice slow pace. Look at that beautiful green. I love this green. I use it a lot. So here we go. Oh, it's not splashing everywhere. Success. Third time really is a charm. Okay, so we're gonna let that continue to come down. Okay, so now that we've gone through that fun experience, we can swatch in colors. So YR01 Peach Puff is our first color to swatch that was just refilled. And we're gonna do this very carefully because I did overfill the marker. So here goes. Hopefully it doesn't splosh all over the place. Gentle pressure. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, it's a little saturated there. Now we come back to the greens, G21 Lime Green, which was a good boy and behaved for me today. Let's swatch that. Love this color so much. And as I've mentioned when I did the greens, G21 and G24 are sisters, and they're really great for creating the highlights and the shadows, using them together, as well as with G40, which might not seem it, but these three work really well together. Last but certainly not least, G28 Ocean Green, which was lovely and dry and needed complete replacement of both tips. So swatch it, and hopefully without too much mess. Again, gentle pressure. I didn't get an even stroke here, but that's just the luck of the day. I do love this color. It's a very rich forest green. I know we're calling it ocean green, but it is a beautiful marker. And if you treat it well, it will treat you well. And I do recommend it in the collection of greens. Well, y'all, that concludes episode 8 of the Copic Swatch Cards series, where we swatched some new markers, refilled some markers, did a little surgery, made a bit of a mess, learned from my mistakes. I hope you found this both useful, helpful, informative. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and please feel free to share which markers you're getting. What are some of your favorite colors? I would love to know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.